Here's our 13th green over there. But behind me, the Playboy Mansion. And so I think this is the strangest thing I've seen on a golf course. I don't know about you guys, but this is pretty wild.
Get the good stuff here.
We gotta love the Tesla auto drive, autopilot. Dylan, how comfy are you back there?
We're giving out more free ads here.
Now we can finally talk about the US Open, you know? Enough of this driving crap. What are we gonna go see today, Dill?
There's a lot to learning this course, it seems like. Strategically, picking lines, figuring out run out areas, different clubs off tees, there's some elevation change. It seems awesome.
All right, I am in desperate need to see if Nick Taylor is still hungover. The Canadian Open champ. I want to see if Nick and his caddy are, well, how many beers they had, and if they're still affected by those.
They're
beers.
going out, I saw, as a, they're on the tee sheet, Canadian foursome.
Team Canada.
We're learning the golf course, one hairy lie at a time. I keep asking guys, like, what does this place remind you of? And no one can give a definitive answer. Like Mackenzie just said, like a mix between Pinehurst and Chambers Bay, which are two US Open courses. Danny, Corey Connor's caddy, he just said like the roughs or like the first cuts are kind of like Riviera. You can't move the ball left or right out of those things. And you're also just like worried, is it gonna jump? Is it gonna kind of just come out flat? And so that's really tricky. And the fairways are firm, so you will find all those spots. I think players are just getting comfortable not trying to compare this to anything and treat it as its own entity. Now you guys are gonna try and steal our Open.
Why wouldn't we? That's right.
Damn right, I love that. And you were not at the celebration on Sunday night?
No, I missed that.
But you tried to celebrate with Nick's caddy yesterday night?
Last night I tried to get him.
Can we get the story on that or no?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so what was your idea?
When he showed up at the Airbnb to just kind of drill him with some champagne at the front door and, you know, pop the cork into him. But instead the glass broke in my hands and cut me up.
How big of a cut are we talking
It
about?
was a good one. It was leaking for a while.
Did you hear what happened to Jace?
No, oh, the champagne, yes. Marco told me.
And between that and Adam Hadwin getting tackled, I'm just like, I don't know if the
So my
Canadians
favorite video
are like,
is the angle where the guy raps on the corner and there's Titanic music and Adam gets absolutely, I could watch that 100 times a day the rest of my life.
oh man. It felt like you had to you had to like do this like every single
I
time you
know.
hit a shot. Every
The
time you walk
awkward-
up the hole.
awkward this.
Yeah, it was like, well,
But it was like every tee, every green
yeah.
was like ovation. Like that doesn't happen
No.
to me.
All right, so we tracked down Reggie Bush to compare biceps and check out the Strixon trailer. Reggie, what are you doing here this week?
I played here a couple times before, LACC, so it's great to just see it now in tournament condition with all the grandstands out there and, you know, the greens. To me, these greens have always been one of the fastest that I played on, but I heard that they're even faster. So it's you know, it's cool to see the golfers working on their speeds around the greens, chipping, putting, you know, reading the slopes, all those different things.
We need a pick from you this week. I don't know if you have any special insight or just kind of general
Inside
vibe,
information?
prediction. Who's going to win the U.S. Open?
I'm going to go with Brooks Koepka. I'm going to say Brooks Koepka is going to win. He's kind of on fire right now. He's been playing well. He's hitting the ball well. He's driving it well off the tee.
Please join me in welcoming two-time U.S. Open champion Brooks Koepka. Brooks, how does it feel to be back at a U.S. Open?
Yeah, it feels good. Excited for the week. Playing really, really well. Yeah, I've always liked U.S. Open, so it'll be a tough test this week.
Brooks, you used the term chaos to talk about majors, U.S. Opens, and how maybe you like the chaos. What is an example of chaos or the visual of what chaos looks like to you?
First one that popped in my head was maybe Shinnecock, right? Everybody was bitching, complaining. They were also focused on the golf course. They kind of forgot about what was going on, that they were there to play a major championship instead of, you know, okay, the greens are pretty fast, but if you leave yourself an uphill putt, it's not too bad.
thigh burners. 17 to 18 is a bit of a stair stepper. So there's this thing called the Little 17 at LACC. I just talked to a member. In their redesign, they found, while they were digging, they found an old green of the 17th hole. So this is the new green, and that's the old green. And now, for fun, they're playing a little 17, 136 yards to an impossibly small green. The member said, you either land on it and you stay on it, or you miss it and you're f***ed. So that's what we're gonna see the Canadians do right now.
What do you need to win on this golf course? What do you need to play well here? What part of your game needs to be the most dialed in?
Every time you're playing a major championship, you have to hit in the fairway. You know, it always starts from the tee box. So I think it's going to be no different this week. The rough is a beast as expected. So you hit the fairway often enough, you're going to give yourself a good chance.
There was some news announced last week involving the PGA Tour and LIV and the Public Investment Fund. And I was just wondering if you've been able to make sense of it and if you know where the future of pro golf is now headed.
I know as much, if not less than you, so I'm probably not able to make a real opinion. It's a lot to take in. It obviously took all of us by surprise. It's actually nice to be as confused as I am here because I'm not really thinking about it anymore. I'm ready to just go play golf.
The general feeling is that a lot of people feel a bit of betrayal from management. I understand why they had to keep it so secret. I understand we couldn't make it through a packed meeting with more than 10 minutes after people spilling the beans right away and some article about you guys already being out there. So I get it. I get the secrecy. It's not easy as a player that's been involved like many others to wake up one day and see this bombshell, right? So that's where we're all in a bit of a state of limbo because we don't know what's going on, and I don't think how much is finalized and how much they can talk about either, right? So it's a state of uncertainty that we don't love, but at the end of the day, I'm not a business expert. Some of those guys on the board and involved in this are. So I like to think they're gonna make a better decision than I would, but I don't know. We'll see. There's still too many questions to be answered.
Bartender.
All right, guys. Yeah.
It's time.
I will do the deed. All right. Our friends at Doers hooked us up with the 12-year, which is the good stuff, but also the Champions Edition 19-year. That's the really good stuff. But also, Claire has been making wedge puns all afternoon.
We're more like wedge players.
Claire, I'm guessing you want.
There's a reason Rory isn't here.
Wow, tough scene. You've been drinking a little.
That's a mean joke.
First, can you
Rory
tell me
won't
what the
watch
difference
this.
between the 12 and the 19 year is?
7 years, Claire.
7 years.
I think I'm gonna just get right into the 19 year. But you guys want a wedge?
I would like a wedge.
All right. What are we drinking to?
The Media Center food, the best I've ever had.
Wow.
I mean it.
It's early in the week for that, but I'll let you have it. I am drinking to players being uncomfortable. Ricky Fowler's talking about laying up on par threes. Guys don't know what they want to do on the 6th hole. They don't know what kind of course this looks like. Guys are a little uncomfortable, and I like that.
Wow. All right. Oh, I'm drinking. I thought we were all gonna.
I'm done. Your turn.
I'm gonna raise a glass to half par holes. You guys keep talking about how fun this golf course is. It's because you've got par 3.5s, you got par 4.5s. You might even have a par 5.5 out there. But yeah. Hey, cheers to us though.
Good wedge work, right?
I guess so.
The weirdest times in the golf world continued tonight. This is like the hardest one to explain. But the PGA Tour an hour ago announced that Jay Monahan is, quote, recuperating from a medical situation. And that's all we know. We don't know anything more. The only thing that was added to it is that he, as a result of this, has to, take a step back and recover while other people do his jobs as commissioner and member of the policy board. So it's weird. I think the only thing that is worth stressing at this time is that Jay Monahan's been through a lot of stuff, and we don't need to draw any direct connections to anything. but I understand why people will want to. I understand why people are going to rush to conclusions about this and that. This is going to be a time to cause for some real patience. This whole thing is asking people to have patience, and now that like Jay Monahan is taking a step back because of this, like people just need to settle down, be patient, be considerate. Don't go to social media. Just settle down. We're going to get more answers as the info comes in. We'll get player reactions Wednesday morning, but it's certainly a weird end to our Tuesday night.